Welcome to the Continuity Report, powered by ohmtown.com. Today is June 2nd, 2024. It is Season 1, Episode 22. I am Mayor Watt, and above me is the visualizer for the sentient AI from the future.
Good evening, ohmtown citizens. Welcome to the Continuity Report.
Today we're going to be talking about Furiosa Misfired, Summer 2024 movies, Stephen King tricks, D&D live action show, Bullet Train movies, sports streaming services, Nearly Rejected Role by Julia Roberts, which is like getting in the way back machine, shows like How I Met Your Mother, Mad Max Beyond Furiosa, and a Beach Boys documentary. Everything is powered by ohmtown.com, so go over and become a citizen. But come back, hurry. And let us know you've joined us over at ohmtown.com and here at Twitch, twitch.tv/ohmtown, and over at YouTube, youtube.com/ohmtown. And you can go over to Patreon. There's a ohmtown channel there. And we have a Discord and a TikTok, and I'm doing shorts over on YouTube as well. And I'm not sure what's going on with the sentient AI, but
I'm kind of giggling about airing your shorts.
Oh yeah, if y'all want to see my shorts, head on over to YouTube. And I mean, TikTok has some of my shorts, but not as many. I should put all of my, like, I got a lot of images of my shorts that I could put, like 30 at least videos of my shorts. Anyway.
Yeah, you should put them over on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, the premium thing is at not OnlyFans, it's Only Mares. All right, folks. So let's get into today's articles. The very first article is over in Continuity Report. After Furiosa misfires, when will summer movie season rebound? I don't know.
It may not.
This weekend, the box office looked more like a wasteland than the fruitful green place of many mothers. That's a riff off of Furiosa. Mad Max, the Mad Max saga. It says Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, underperformed in its box office debut with $25.6 million between Friday and Sunday, and an estimated $31 million through Memorial Day on Monday. Instead of ruling the box office as expected, it shit the bed. Oh wait, we're not really that deep into the show, so
no, we are not.
You just ignore everything that I said. And if you're new here, you hit ! The Continuity Report, so TCR, and that will give you all of the links for today's show right there. And then out of order, but they're still there. I need to talk to the bot. I'm really not sure what's going on.
What'd you get your act in gear?
Get your act together. And if you want the podcast, then you do ! Pod, and that will give you the links to the podcast. We have 7 of them, including the Daily Show. But Reality Hacker, Wanted, Warcrafters, The Continuity Report, Technology Today, and 4-Wheel Tech. Bam! At 6, and then Ohmtown Daily News Show is the 7th. Anyway, Rebecca Rubin over at Variety.com put this article together. And there's Furiosa getting more Furiosa. Furiosa Beyond Furious. Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, getting all greased up. Underperformed. $25.6 million between Friday and Sunday. 31 estimated for Memorial Day. Total, the Garfield movie collected the same.
That's interesting. Like, those are very close.
Yeah, it wasn't just domestic audiences that failed to show up for Furiosa, the 5th entry in George Miller's A Post-Apocalyptic series, and this one stars Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth. It is stalling at the international box office with $33.3 million from 75 territories, bringing its worldwide tally to $58.9 million. It's a tough start considering the cost 3 times that. Yikes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think that's just fatigue with the franchise, or no draw from the leads,
Um, I,
or just general theater, like people aren't attending?
I don't. Well, first off, I don't think people are attending because the costs of living are going up. Um, and I think that this is way too far beyond the last episode of Mad Max, which when was it? We had a talk about
It's
this.
been quite a while ago, I think. Um,
Um,
Let me see
Hold on.
here.
Sorry for the dead air, folks.
It looks like the last one was in 2015.
Yeah, Fury Road. So almost a decade since the last episode, and if I remember right, let's look at the box office for this. Um, I want all of it, so let me see if I can pull it all up. Mad Max franchise. There we go. So, Fury Road North American box office was 150, just shy of 154. It's right at 154 million for North America. Worldwide is 415,000. Sorry, 415 million. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome was a completely different era, um, and that was 52 million. So, and that was 1985. I wonder if these are actually adjusted for inflation. But
Oh,
52
right.
million
I don't
dollars.
know.
Um, and so what I'm getting at is the Mad Max Fury Road stuff was at a different time frame, 2015. Yeah, everybody was happy. The economy was doing fine, recovering. Then
People still went to
2016,
movie theaters.
yeah. 2016 hits. Things started hitting the fan. Um, then you get the pandemic. People start finding out what's worthwhile. Economy kind of goes wonky because there's so much money in the system that suppliers start jacking up the price because so much is constrained. I won't get into all of that, but in a nutshell, times they are a changing. Now this says that worldwide Furiosa at this time is at just shy of $70 million. Um, so to me, I think that people are just tired of it. They're not interested in it. I think drawing, trying to use Anya Taylor Joy as the fulcrum for people to engage. You know, she's got a great following. People are fascinated by her. She's got the acting chops because of all of her previous work has demonstrated that she can pull this character off. But it's still in a vacuum.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's too much time, it's too expensive. And I feel like sometimes when new people enter the franchise, that kind of turns people away, regardless of whether they like the actors.
Yeah, so Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron are the ones that were the draw for Mad Max Fury Road, and they pulled it off great. So Furiosa is it's the prequel to Fury Road, and um, Anya Taylor-Joy is basically Charlize's character as a younger Furiosa, where she gets her name, where she loses her arm. So that film opened up with 45 million and became a modest hit with 380 million against a similarly large budget. Um, yeah, it was 150 million for Fury Road, but it's made 415 million. I'm not sure where these numbers are coming. 318, or sorry, 380, because that doesn't hold out based on the numbers that are listed on Wikipedia.
Right.
So, but nearly a decade later, it's like I said the last time we were talking about this, because these are the updated numbers. Doing this as a prequel with regardless of it being a female protagonist, the only people that know about Furiosa are Fury Road watchers. It's not drawing anybody new in. All of the previous Mad Maxes were actually world building immediately. But this is actually a riff off of Fury Road. So you would have to go and watch Fury Road and then
Oh,
go
I
watch
see. So it's not
Furiosa.
real accessible.
Yeah. And so I don't think that people were really interested in seeing Furiosa. So none of this bodes well for popcorn season, which will almost certainly fall short of the $4 billion mark. This year was the first in many without a Marvel movie to usher in summer. Oh my gosh, what is going on with me?
You can make pretty good popcorn at home.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to worry about all of the other noise and all of the stuff, all of society, which it's part and parcel to the experience of going to a movie. But I've found that it's become a little bit too tedious, and wildly expensive. And you can get a fun watch, but not the same immersive watch. I mean, get a bigger stereo. That's all I can really say about it. Okay. Interesting as it is, we're going to have to move on and keep going to the rest of the article. Again, Rebecca Rubin over at Variety put this article together. Okay, the next article, though, is over on the Warcrafters channel, the most anticipated movies of summer 2024.
Let me guess, not Furiosa.
Yeah, let's invert this. The most unanticipated movies of summer 2024. I'm going to run through this list pretty quick because there's a lot of people that are apparently involved in it. The most anticipated movies of summer 2024, as per Polygon.com. Kick back with a cold drink and mark your calendars. Susanna Polo, Austin Goslin, Petrana Radulovic, Pete Volk, Matt Patches, Tasha Robinson.
That's a lot of people.
And Polygon staff. So there's a poll somewhere at Polygon headquarters.
Right, exactly.
A staff.
I got it.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, maybe each of them gave a different recommendation, and that's why there's so many people listed.
Yeah. So let's see. Here's what Polygon is looking forward to the most: In a Violent Nature, which is probably Chainsaw Massacre-esque. It comes out May 31st. The sentient AI actually turtled when I showed that picture. Robot Dreams looks like an animated flick. Robot Dreams follows a lonely dog in the world of anthropomorphic animals who decides to buy a robot to be his best friend. It's a touching and poignant tale of friendship, told entirely without dialogue. Oh, wow. That's okay. I'm just gonna never mind. Exuma, blockbuster horror movie, and is the highest grossing film in Korea this year, beating out even the latest installment of Ma Dong-seok box office heavy hitter series, The Roundup. Let's see here. Oh, wow. It's all about a feng shui master who is asked or recruited to relocate a haunted grave. That's actually sounds like a lot of fun, mainly because of
that might be really good. I mean, it's not your usual premise.
Nice premise, though. So there's one called The Watchers, the first feature film directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, Ashana. The Watchers follows a young girl who ventures deep into the woods and ends up trapped in a strange house that's supposedly observed by mysterious creatures. I've actually seen the trailer for this. Has potential. Let's say that. The movie stars Dakota Fanning and is based on a novel by A.M. Shine, Bad Boys Ride or Die, where I'm sure that Will Smith is going to slap the shit out of somebody.
Oh no!
Don't even need to say anything.
There's a huge time gap in the franchise.
Yeah. You know what's really funny about this though is in the very first Men in Black thing, he actually says a similar phrase. He's gonna slap.
That's interesting.
That he's gonna slap you in the mouth. And And then he says the exact same thing during the Oscars thing. It's really funny.
Wow. Okay,
Anyway,
wait a second. I'm actually wrong about this. There was a installment in 2020.
Bad Boys. Oh yeah, Bad Boys for
Yeah,
Life. Right? Bad Boys
I
for Life.
didn't know it was then. I thought it was farther back.
Yeah, but you might as well just say that it was further back in the 90s anyways, because Bad Boys for Life, I don't know if anybody actually paid any attention to it. I don't know. I think Will Smith lost his luster. But everything does, right? Hold on a second. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it live. So the Bad Boys franchise consists of Bad Boys from 1995, Bad Boys 2 from 2003, which I didn't think was 2003. Bad Boys for Life, which is 17 years later.
Oh, that's where the gap was, not between this one and the previous one, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And then
I think I forgot Bad Boys for Life existed.
well, we're going to look at the numbers real quick to see if that holds true with everybody else. And then Bad Boys Ride or Die 2024. Let's see. Sorry, I have to scroll. Okay, so Bad Boys worldwide made 141 million. Bad Boys 2, 273 million. Remember, as we move in time, we get a greater population, and everybody is watching the first one, and then watching the second one because of the first one. But even that was a great jump, right? 1995 to 2003. And then Bad Boys for Life. How much do you think that one raked in?
31 million.
$426.5 million.
What?
On a budget of
Okay.
90 million.
Nice. I mean, it's good for the studio.
Yeah. And it has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 77, whereas the others don't break 50 or even 25.
Okay, that's interesting too.
Yeah. Quite interesting. I guess there's a season called, there's a TV series based off of it called LA's Finest, Season 1 and Season 2. That was in 2020. Yeah, September 11th and September 25th, 2020. But I don't know what that is. Yeah, it has seasons 1 and 2. It has a 46% score from Metacritic and 24% from Rotten Tomatoes. So, but I don't know anything about it. So, Hitman. Returning to the Polygon article, Hitman. Glenn Powell is one of the finest movie actors, and there's no better proof of it than his Netflix movie Hitman. A mild-mannered nerd who participates in a police sting operations to arrest people who are trying to hire contract killers. Gary does his part by mimicking whatever he thinks is the latest target's ideal assassin might look like, which results in Powell donning some hilarious disguises, wigs, and accents. Okay, that might be fun.
This could either be really dumb or really hysterical.
Yep. Descendants, The Rise of Red. I don't know if I think everybody from the original series, the original Disney show, The Descendants, has moved on, I think.
They have to have from the time frame, but I do find it interesting that it looks like one of the actors is the descendant of another well-known actor.
I see what you did there. I see what they did there. I'm not even going to call it out. Then Inside Out 2. Everybody's growing up. New anxieties, new emotions. How do these new emotions fit in with what we know of Inside Out world? Guess we'll find out in a zany new ride into Riley's inner mind, says Polygon. Ultraman Rising. That's a new take. So new artistry, new animation. Ultraman has been around for quite some time, featuring an original cast of characters and a stunning animation style that conjures obvious comparisons to Sony's Spider-Verse films. Ultraman Rising might be the franchise's best chance yet at breaking through into Western mainstream. Then there's Thelma. Thelma is basically the beekeeper of Jason Statham's character, were played by your grandmother. All right.
Okay, that's different.
It says Thelma is absolutely hilarious and makes great use of action movie staples like slow motion to add both tension and comedy to Thelma's quest for revenge. This is like a retired Velma, or Vera, sorry.
Oh, yes,
Like you'd
yes.
expect her to be this. Anyway, kinds of kindness. I don't know if I'd be able to. Oh, just after months after scoring a slew of Oscars, including Best Actress, Poor Things pair Emma Stone and Yorgos Lanthimos are back with a new one, a triptych fable that smashes together ruminations on love and faith. The stacked cast, which includes Emma Stone, which I think she wants to be known as Emily Stone, right? Jesse
Right.
Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Margaret Qualley, Hunter Schafer, and Hong Chow, or Shu. I think it's Hong Chu. All play different roles in what looks like one of Lanthimos' more grounded efforts. I own The Lobster, but never watched it. I keep getting told that Poor Things is actually pretty good if you can get past some of its obvious detractions. But I don't know if I'll ever. Anyway, the next one that they have is The Bike Riders. I won't be able to go through all of these. Then there's Kill, Maxine, Long Legs, which has to be about a spider. I won't go into it. Twisters, which is the sequel to Twister.
And the
Skywalkers.
most original title ever.
Yeah, really. What do we? It's a follow up to Twister. What do you want to call it? Let's have two tornadoes. We'll call it Twisters, and it'll be a riff off of the first one as a sequel, and we'll do the exact same story, just modernize it a little bit. Skywalker is a love story, where you guessed it, love story is set against two daredevils attempting to climb the highest structures in the world. Then there's Deadpool and Wolverine, Trap, Cuckoo, Borderlands.
And wait a second, that was from M. Night Shyamalan, and also M. Night Shyamalan's daughter has The Watchers out.
Yeah. Which one? Trap?
Trap. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, they're going to be competing for dollars. Anyway, Cuckoo, Borderlands, which is based off of the game. It Ends With Us. There's a lot. Alien Romulus, The Crow, and that's it. Go and read more about all of these. We can't go into all of these, but we get lost in this. So it's almost like you could take one article and do a deeper dive. So I don't know. Maybe that's something that we can do for the Patreon, and just give our take. Why would you listen to us? Because we're just like you. If you find this entertaining and interesting, then maybe you'll appreciate our perspectives. We watch the movies and then we talk about them, and we can go through this kind of a list. This one here, I think, is probably going to be The Watchers. I've seen the trailer for this, and let's just say it pulled me in to the point where I was like, okay, I can't wait for this to come out. It comes out on June 7th, but I probably won't watch it until I can watch it
Well, that's in the middle of the gaming showcases.
in the mayoral mansion. Yeah, let's keep going, though. The next article is over in the continuity report. Apple TV Plus's new sci-fi show repeats a Stephen King storytelling trick, and this thing is about dark matter. I think that we had actually spoken about this before.
We did talk about dark matter, but I don't think we've spoken about this aspect.
Yeah, so Dhruv Sharma over at ScreenRant.com put the article together, and honestly, I don't think it's possible that we could have, because this is this was constructed after the last weekend's show. So, close look at Apple TV's show's narrative reveals that it repeats a brilliant Stephen King storytelling trick. In a writing career that exceeds half a century, Stephen King has written several books and short stories. His works also have been primary source of inspiration for some of the most epic horror movies like The Shining, IT, Jesus. Did I just say IT? IT is a horror show, but anyway, It, Carrie, 1408, among others. Other than the direct adaptations of his stories, there are also several other movies and shows that have drawn heavily from the themes and storytelling techniques in his books. Oh my
Wait,
God.
before we get in, there's a spoiler alert.
Yeah, so spoiler alert all over this. Unfortunately, for us to continue talking about this, we do possibly expose things. I don't really. It's very rare that I get caught off guard by a spoiler, but it doesn't ruin it for me.
Dumbledore dies?
Dumbledore dies. Yeah, and we all knew that was going to happen in book one. For instance, even the Mike Flanagan shows and movies, not directly based on King's works, often have some traces of their influence. A new Apple TV show is also by no means an adaptation of Stephen King's works. However, one of the most terrifying storylines seems to be similar to a 44-year-old Stephen King novella. The creatures in an alternate dark matter universe seem similar to the ones in Stephen King's The Mist.
Interesting.
And The Mist was turned into a movie, so... although dark matter progresses slowly in its first few episodes, it becomes increasingly gripping in episodes 3, 4, and 5 as it opens the floodgates of the multiverse and explores all of the bizarre possibilities that can exist. Instead of taking the everything everywhere all at once route and portraying alternate realities in a comical light, dark matter gives it a glimpse of some of the darkest worlds one can imagine. And honestly, everything everywhere all at once, the one detraction from that is the comical, silly.
Yeah, it was too over the top. It was really brilliant, but then it kind of ruined it.
Yep. One of the worlds portrayed in the show's episode 5 is infested by a huge swarm of gigantic wasp-like insects. No, thank you. And so on. I won't get too far into this, but dark matter seems like right up my alley. And I've only watched a trailer, little elements of it, because I'm waiting, and I probably should watch it.
It says that it gets more gripping. To me, I read that and I think it gets more terrifying. But that's my interpretation of that. But I haven't seen Dark Matter.
Yeah. Dork Matter you've seen, but not Dark Matter. It's a completely different show. So I won't go really deep into this, but now you know. If you follow the link through ohmTown over to this article, there is some spoilery content. But really what's going on here is dark matter is this a scientist has created something that opens up portals to multiple dimensions. They go in to one of the dimensions, but something comes out. It's in the trailer, and what comes out is actually him, but from an alternate.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like a what's the one with where the twins trade places?
Parent Trap?
It's like Parent Trap, except that they're not playing a trap. They switch sides, and the person from another dimension is in this prime time, and the prime person is in this other unknown timeline. They don't know which one they're actually in, or how to get to another timeline, because this cube that they walk into is just filled with doors. It's pretty amazing.
There's another TV show that reminds me of. I think it's called Counterpart.
Yeah, Counterpart is another
where
one.
They had, yeah.
Yep.
Which would highly recommend.
Yeah, and I wish that would actually continue, but I think it's done. Let's keep going. The next article is over in the continuity report. Dungeons and Dragons live action show looking for new home, unfortunately, will be revamped. Despite the critical success of last year's Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie, Paramount Plus has ultimately decided to not move forward with the previously planned Dungeons and Dragons live action show. That sucks, but I blame Dungeons and Dragons. It got a tremendous amount of bad press, and everybody switched to other RPGs. Maybe, just maybe, It's still growing, but that's because there's just a lot of people in the world. But yeah, they really shit the bed with their policy about live play content creators, and then billing stuff certain ways and licensing certain ways. They just so screwed up their community.
Yeah,
Um,
what you really want to do is anger everybody that's a super fan.
yeah, that's exactly it. Um, and yeah, they're using your source material, but their content is their content, right? It's so stupid what they did. Um, anyway, won't get into it. According to Deadline, Hasbro Entertainment wants to shop the live-action Dungeons and Dragons series to other streaming platforms and production partners. Before this, the canceled project will first get redeveloped with a brand new creative team at its helm. It says, we're the Millers and Red Notice director, uh, Marshall Thurber, Rawson Marshall Thurber, was originally attached to write it. It says, we're the. I don't know what that means. Is that just a typo? Just a screw up?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, Maggie De La Paz is the author of this article over at comingsoon.net. Um, and this picture is from Honor Among Thieves. It has nothing to do with this live action show. Unfortunately, I was really hoping that this was going to hit the ground running, just like I'm hoping that Neuromancer hits the ground running when it comes to Disney Plus. There's certain shows that I'm really anxious for.
Well, I thought Honor Among Thieves, although it wasn't necessarily a critic success, I thought it was entertaining.
I thought that it was great entertainment, and I stuck to the canon of Dungeons and Dragons and didn't really shy away from embracing that fan kind of, you know, play. Even though the film underperformed at the box office, it still managed to impress critics and currently holds a certified fresh rating of 91% on Rotten Tomatoes based on 313 reviews. Now, and I can tell you why this was. It was because the people that were playing the characters all had on-screen charisma, and they weren't drowning each other out. There wasn't anybody that was horrible at it, and the way that it was written, it was literally like I was watching a cinematic version of a live play podcast, or a game, a session with friends in the basement. It was just a lot of fun to watch, and so I can totally understand why it would get a 91. But I think that the rest of this, the downward trend of this appreciation spawned after Honor Among Thieves, because the way that they started forcing the license. So I'm gonna try something real quick. Sorry for the dead air. Yeah, I mean, if you were to do a look on Google for like the impact of the bad decisions that the IP owners of Dungeons and Dragons did, you'll see all kinds of things, like thousands upon tens of thousands of people signing a form, an open letter condemning the changes, and groups of people moving away from D&D over to Pathfinder or some other subordinate RPG form, like platform.
Exactly. I mean, I suspect they had at least thousands, if not millions, in damage because they took such a hit.
Yep. Hugely popular property, it says, has also influenced numerous writers, directors, game designers, and other creative professionals throughout its 4 decades. And this is what I find really interesting. We are wholly enabling ourselves to sit there and lay claim to, oh, we embraced and fell in love with this or that and used it as inspiration. But the moment that you reference artificial intelligence as being a tool to output something creative, suddenly it's theft. But a human spending countless hours consuming these books, and there's only a few of these books until you get into the novels and stuff like that. But there's the Player's Guide, and there's the DMG and Monster Manual, and subordinate books off of that. But really, unless you keep on buying them, and if you keep buying them, it's the same stuff, just evolved a little bit.
Right, like repackaged or something.
Yeah. The system even changes from time to time, good or bad. But what's hilarious about it is that people will sit there and, oh, I grew up with D&D and it made me an artist, or it made me a musician or a writer or whatever, and now I create my own games and blah, 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 and I riff off of, blah, blah, blah. But the moment that it's a piece of software that's scanning this stuff and doesn't regurgitate it verbatim, it's all reconstituted as something else, baby bird me, that kind of thing. People lose their mind. Oh, it's that. No, it's not. Just leave it alone. So pretty cool. Unfortunately, who knows where this is going to end up, and it's going to be like reshot as a WB thing and all kinds of teen angsty, and somebody in the party is going to be in love with the other one, and bleh.
Yeah, that's kind of unavoidable in that genre, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to keep talking about it. Sorry.
No, I don't have anything else to add.
All right. So let's talk about Bullet Train. So this next article is over in the continuity report. 15 best movies like Bullet Train, with its wild action, colorful characters, bloody sense of humor. Many viewers are seeking other movies like Bullet Train that have a similar thrill ride. 2022 action comedy sees Brad Pitt play a reluctant assassin who boards a bullet train on a seemingly easy mission to retrieve a briefcase, only to find that the train's filled with deadly people who want it as well. Bullet Train was a surprise hit and crowd-pleasing ride with a star-studded cast to back up Pitt's hilarious leading role. It's almost like that Burn After Reading style.
Yeah, I think it is. It's like comedy action.
Yeah, I think it might be fun. We haven't watched it yet, I don't think. If I have,
we started it, but we haven't completed it.
That's what it is. That's why I have the beginning of the scene,
like the hint of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And if I remember right, it was a lot like the intro scene of Argyle.
Yes, very similar. Although
Yeah.
it did come out before Argyle. I don't know when it was written in comparison.
See, now I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to go and finish Bullet Train, but there's so much that we're watching. So, okay, let's go over to Screen Rant. I mean, if this is him, it's almost like the dude that's played in Burn After Reading.
Right. I mean, isn't he in that movie?
Yeah. I thought, isn't he? Oh my god.
I think so.
Do we have it all wrong? Or do I have it?
I think that's correct. That's just been a while since that movie was released.
Yeah, it is him. Yeah.
But that genre, like historically, I don't think there were a lot of movies in that genre, but it seems like it's upticking, which I don't think is a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I love this style of writing. I love this style of cinema. It's not over the top all the time. So Bullet Train's unique action comedy style sets it apart. But there are other movies with similar elements that provide a thrilling experience. Bullet Train is fast-paced, funny, high energy, making them pure, entertaining popcorn movies. So time to make some popcorn. Films like Snatch, Smoking Aces, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, those were all fun. Showcase the same exciting elements that made Bullet Train a hit. So let's go through these really quick. The Fall Guy is brand new, 2024. Haven't seen it yet. Retired stuntman tries to find a missing movie star. This is actually a riff off of a TV show called The Fall Guy, but maybe not. I don't know what the parallels are because I haven't read anything about it yet. Bullet Train director David Leitch followed up that action comedy movie with another, taking similar tone and using it to great success for The Fall Guy. So, boom. Bat Times? Is that
right? Hold on.
Is that? I don't think it's Bad Times. I thought it's Bad Times.
It is Bad Times.
Yeah. This
Will
was
it be?
this was a fun watch. If you've never seen it, this is actually a really fun watch. It's bad. See right there, it says bad times at the strangers with secrets converge at a roadside motel. And if you talk about this, you're gonna spoiler it because everything that you say actually leads to some discovery in this movie. From scene to scene, you learn what's going on. So different characters converging on the same train and seeing their own secrets and motivations gradually becoming clear. Um, part of the fun of Bullet Train. And now you pull everybody off the train and bring them into the El Royale, and you have everybody discovering just what's going on with this roadside motel.
Hmm.
Um, Nobody, a mild-mannered family man, reignites his deadly skills. Haven't seen this yet. Unconventional action hero. Basically, it says Brad Pitt's Ladybug comes off as an unconventional action hero early in the movie. He's looking for a more peaceful life and attempts to be easygoing, but then he ends up in a fight, and that's kind of this movie. Nobody has fun with a similar idea and takes it a step further by casting an actor who audiences would not typically see as an action hero or in the action genre. Bob Odenkirk stars as a mild-mannered family man, so this guy.
Oh, okay. So they're
Yeah,
saying it's kind of similar to
yeah,
the hero or anti-hero Bullet Train.
yeah. Dad's here and he's ready to kick ass, that kind of thing. Yeah. Free Fire. Can't go through all of these.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Say it's a unique setup for the movie, as the majority of the runtime is simply dedicated to a shootout between various characters. I don't know, maybe like a good, bad, and ugly kind of thing. Speed, which if you haven't seen Speed, it all takes place on a bus that's rigged with a bomb that if it goes below 60 miles an hour, it'll blow up.
Which honestly,
Weird
that's an
premise.
entertaining movie, but
Yeah.
if they made that today, you'd go, "What? Like why why would that be entertaining?"
Keanu Reeves maybe has gotten a little bit grittier as he's aged, but he's what's the guy with the gray? What's his name? Something Gray. The guy with the painting that he's a vampire and the painting ages, but he doesn't.
I have no idea.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you'll look it up. Then there's Snatch. The Hunt for a Diamond turns London's criminal world on its head. It's a Guy Ritchie film. You'll really like
Is it
it.
Dorian Gray?
Dorian Gray. Yeah. I don't remember. I don't think that he's a vampire. I think that he just has this curse that his picture is aging, but he's not.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so Snatch features a similar ensemble character of colorful characters with their own stories and motivations who find themselves intersecting with each other. Smoking Aces, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm going to kind of go through these really fast. The Wolverine. I'm so burnt out with the Wolverine because I think that he's really just kind of a boring character. So I'm picking a fight with the Marvel fans.
Yeah, and especially with Deadpool and Wolverine coming out.
Yeah, and people are like, "Oh, it's a love story kind of a thing." I know, I'm just kind of playing, but all it is an angry dude who gets pissed off because he has swords for fingers. It's basically an angry Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, okay.
You find your calling, buddy. Trim some bushes or something. I don't know. John Wick, which is so far away from Bullet Train, I don't quite get it.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, I get it. It's like the over the top action. Yes,
Right.
that connects it, but not really the
Yeah,
humor. I mean, there are some elements of humor, but
it's very few and far between. It's
right,
mostly
right.
shooting and action scenes in set locations. So, Train to Busan, commuters attempt to survive a zombie outbreak aboard a train. That's probably the closest. Number 4 is Kill Bill Volume 1. Grosse Point Blank is absolutely spectacular. You have to go and watch this. We are going to fall behind in our show. Gosh.
Quite possibly.
Lucky Number 11, A Case of Mistaken Identity. It puts Josh Hartnett at the center of a mob war. This is basically what's the one where he's the
it's
mob?
like Whole 9 Yards.
Whole 9 Yards. Yes. I think
which is also a recommended.
Yeah, if that isn't the number 1 on here, then I'd be. I'm not going to be surprised because
true.
It has nothing to do with Bullet Train. But let's see, The Commuter. So Liam Neeson.
So they went more for the train theme than the genre theme, I think.
Yeah, and it's actually titled "Movies to Watch Like Bullet Train." So
yeah, I guess I was thinking it was more genre connected, but yeah.
Okay, we got to get moving like a bullet train. The next article is over on the Wanted channel, the 5 best sports streaming services in 2024. I put this in here only because for some strange reason, I paid for a year of ESPN, the streaming service ESPN. I think I know why, and it's from the extended members of ohmTown. Not realizing that.
I see. Because I thought, were you hit on the head or something?
Because I don't really watch sports. Like, I'll hang out. If everybody else is hanging out watching a game, then I'll watch the game. I just want a good game. I'm not a fan. So whatever it is, a good baseball game, a good horse race, whatever. I just like a good game and fun company, right? So Bon Adamson over at pocketlint.com put this article together. It's actually pocket-lint.com. I wish they would buy the domain PocketLint just so I never ever have to say dash in there again. Exactly. I wonder. Maybe I do this every time.
I think you might.
No, there is a site there at pocketlint.com. I would change my name. Anyway, so it's fun. It's a great site for news. Bon Adamson's deck statement says sports have crept more and more into the world of streaming, and some services have become prime destinations for fans of all sorts of sports. It's it's like a green eggs and ham.
Oh yes.
Sorts of all kinds of sorts of sports that use sporks instead of forks. Anyway, since Netflix's astronomical rise to success in the 2010s, streaming has become one of the largest entertainment industries in the world. Tell me about it. I mean, this place is packed to the gills, standing room only in ohmTown. While the early days of streaming were dominated largely by movies and TV, sports have slowly become the go-to. But I treat Twitch and YouTube as my sports, so they're my ESPN. YouTube as well, I don't know, Netflix and stuff like that. I don't watch sports.
Right, like you treat like streaming, like some people would be like, oh, there's a sports game on. You're like, oh, a streamer's on.
Yeah, like I'm yelling at the screen and stuff like that sometimes. Anyway, number 1 for big time hockey and MMA fans, ESPN Plus. That's what I ended up paying for. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, paid for a whole year of that. I'm gonna have to have a talk. For fans of the Premier League soccer, Olympic sports, and pro wrestling, you got to go to Peacock. For keeping up with live sports for all kinds, YouTube TV. That's expensive, by the way. And if you augment it with additional add-ons,
right, you're going to be paying perhaps above cable prices.
Yeah. Y'all never gave up cable. Don't. You can sit there and go, I cut cable. No, you didn't. You're still attached at the hip, just not to that cable company. Anyway, for cable alternative in a bundle, Hulu plus live TV. If you're going to do that, you might as well get Disney Plus because Hulu is included.
That is true.
So, but really the best way, you don't even need live TV, for crying out loud. It's always streaming on YouTube anyway. And then number 5 is for some football and a lot of soccer, Paramount Plus. And I think that's it. Yeah. So ultimately, though, what you're going to end up having to do is buy subscriptions to individual services, because there's soccer has its own streaming thing, football has its own streaming thing. You're only getting so much of it when you buy like ESPN Plus. You're not getting everything. You're largely going to have to keep on buying and buying and buying and buying. It's very frustrating, the world that we live in. But anyway.
I know. I mean, now we have all these um, decentralized services, right? And we have to buy multiple services, and everything's on a subscription. And
Yep, it's all balkanized. And now, though, what's really funny is, what was it? Wasn't there a company? Which company is it that said that they are? Isn't it Comcast? I think Comcast is saying that they're basically bringing it all
it is
back.
Comcast. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. It's like you can have
like all of the streaming.
as cable or something. Yes.
Yeah, we'll provide it as a single priced package. They're bringing the
Of
package
course you
back.
will.
Like, oh my God, we just went full circle. It's the Ouroboros thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Aurora
Snake eating
Borealis.
itself.
Yeah. The Aurora Borealis eating itself. Anyway, let's keep going. The next article is over in the Continuity Report. Julia Roberts nearly rejected her iconic $364 million movie from 25 years ago for a wild reason. The only reason why I got this is because I know about Pretty Woman. Like, they have a typo. How do you mess that up? It's the name of the actor.
Exactly. That's in your headline.
Yep. So Julia Roberts is arguably the queen of romantic comedies, but 25 years ago, she almost rejected one of her most famous rom-com roles for a surprising reason. Over the course of her career, Julia Roberts has played a range of roles across a wide variety of genres. However, the genre Roberts has returned to more and more than any other is the romantic comedy genre. The actress has starred in over a dozen rom-coms over the years, with almost every Julia Roberts romantic comedy proving to be a hit. She's fun, likable. Nevertheless, one of Roberts' best-known rom-com roles, it says, rarely happened.
I think it's supposed to be barely.
Barely, yeah. What the hell? Did the editor fall out of the window and hit the tree on the way down? And
they did not run spell check.
Callum Jones. Well, see, yeah, because Julia wouldn't have 2 L's in it no matter what. Anyway, I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. Callum Jones is the author of this. Screen Rant is where it's housed. That's where our little snippet was aggregated from. So, despite initial hesitation, Roberts' portrayal of Anna Scott became one of her most beloved and iconic film roles. I thought it was from Pretty Woman.
I thought it was going to be Pretty Woman, and I thought it was going to be because of the subject matter.
Yeah, but it's Notting Hill remains a standout romantic comedy with Roberts' chemistry with Hugh Grant and Richard Curtis's charm. I like doing that. I know it's dumb for me to sit there and drag the ass, but whatever. I like to drag my ass all over the place. Look. Does she have 2 L's in her name and I just don't know it?
No, she most definitely doesn't.
Why is it right there? And then it's right there. They copy and pasted that snippet. You can't tell me, okay, everybody, the visualizer does not embody every... I have a visualizer that's like a cascading sheet of strange characters that came online when the weird USB drive I found in the Wendy's parking lot at 2 a.m. when I went to get spicy.
Why was it weird?
USB shaming. It had a weird port. If anybody ever saw this port, you would say it's weird too. I'm port shaming. So it looks like the weird characters from the Matrix. And something happened and I have the ability to translate this into an image. And I'm dragging this out. The AI is sitting there going, the sentient AI from the future is sitting there going, move on. We're an hour into the show and we have
the original comment.
we have 3 more articles. You need to hustle. Come on there, Mayor Watt. I'm not paying you to sit there and jibber jabber. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting paid to do. Anyway, so it's Notting Hill. It's not even.
But here's the reason. She thought it would be boring to play an actress. Is that right? Did I read that right? You scrolled past it so fast. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. So Julia Roberts almost turned down the iconic role in Notting Hill due to thinking that it would be, quote unquote, boring to play an actress.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, and it's one of her best. I would probably say Pretty Woman and My Best Friend's Wedding are 2 of her standouts. Yeah, I would go out of my way to watch those 2 again. Pretty Woman, though, I don't know if everybody knows about the real ending of it. But
a lot darker than the release version.
A lot darker. And I think that it would be amazing if they would have reshot it with the darker ending and then years later re-released it. Like,
oh wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, she continued to have success with recent movies such as Netflix's Leave the World Behind and Ticket to Paradise. Ticket to Paradise is the where they rekindle, or not rekindle, but it's a rom-com, but
yeah, is that the one
later
with
in
George
life?
Clooney?
Right? Yeah, like a middle-aged.
I don't think
rom-com.
we've actually seen that one yet.
No, I haven't seen it yet. So amazingly, Roberts is almost deterred from starring in the '90s classic that went on to make $364 million at the worldwide box office. So. And I keep wondering if they normalize that for inflation. So are these modern?
We never know.
Yeah, I don't know. All right.
That would be a lot if it was in the 90s.
Yep. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to rush. I might as well, right? I mean, I can do 3 articles in 3 minutes, right? 15 TV shows. 15 TV shows for people who miss How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, go ahead.
Like, you'll have to say like one word about each.
You're right. In these Screen Rant articles, they have much more content in there, and we just jump right over a lot of it. But we summarize some of it. The thirst for good, lighthearted comedies that deal with topics of friendship, love, and to an extent, family is never ending. But thankfully, for viewers everywhere, television and streaming services are the gifts that keep on giving. These are 15 TV shows for people who miss How I Met Your Mother. Sean S. Lelos, and Amanda Bruce put the article together. I don't know. The summary isn't really much of a summary because you're gonna have to go through this to see all of these the shows, like Scrubs, 9 seasons, 182 episodes. I loved Scrubs. I might have to like Castle go back and watch. I never watched Castle though. I watched all of Scrubs. Right. 2.5 Men, meh. I liked some of it, and then what's his name kind of went off the deep end.
Well, and some of it's too like misogynistic. So.
Yeah, that too. This would not exist today. That 70s show, 8 seasons, 200 episodes. Back in a time when the seasons actually had more episodes per season. Let's see, Sex and the City. A lot of people think that it's Sex in the City, but that is a whatchamacallit?
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect, yeah. 6 seasons, 94 episodes. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, 6 seasons, 148 episodes. Actually dealt with a lot of stuff, pretty powerful, emotional content from time to time, but for the most part, fun, from beginning to end. Then Friends, 10 seasons, 236 episodes. I think that would be great to watch over again, because it was pretty lighthearted throughout the entire thing. The only bummer is that, because of later in life, things were discussed that, put a darker tilt on what is going on the set. And not so much darker, but then there's Seinfeld, which I have tried now to go back and watch some of it, and it just doesn't resonate. And I think it's literally because the premise is that it's about a show about nothing. It doesn't address anything, and it's kind of just stupid from end to end. And the things that take place are just impossible to actually happen. But it would be fun, like an entire
it's
episode.
Like entertaining, but it doesn't have any like real emotional draw or anything.
Just nothing from beginning to end. But I can feel the frustration in the episodes, because some of the stuff actually, you're like, yeah, I've been through that kind of thing. Happy Endings, never watched it. 3 seasons. 2011.
I don't even know what that show is.
Yeah, never even heard of it. Modern Family, 11 seasons, 250 episodes from 2009 to 2020.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah. Parks and Rec, 7 seasons, 126 episodes. I've tried to watch some of it, and it just didn't click. Maybe it would do it now, kind of like Arrested Development did on me. Never watched any of it until later in life.
I knew this was going to be on there.
Yeah. Big Bang Theory, really fun show. Actually, the AI and I got into discussions about the fact that the show pivoted quickly and then started leaning more on Sheldon, and that's what the show was about.
The original focus.
Yeah, it was supposed to be about Penny and what's his name? Leonard, yeah.
Precisely why it pivoted.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And then what's amazing is at the end of Big Bang Theory, they spun off young Sheldon. And that just ended recently too. So
right. And then they're doing a spin-off, something related to young Sheldon too.
Oh, really?
Like
I don't remember.
It has to do with his family or something. I mean, but it's interesting how much Sheldon became the focal point.
Yeah. Chuck, I thought was great. 5 seasons, 91 episodes. It says that it went from 2001 to 2012, but I think there was a hiatus because of a writer's strike or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Plus, that would be hard to have 5 seasons during that time.
Yeah. Maybe it's a typo. I don't know. But regardless, it was a fun watch. I wish that it would have kept on going, but I think it started getting a little too silly. Then New Girl, never watched a single episode. 146 episodes, 7 seasons. And then Community, which is basically whatchamacallit. Hold on, let me scroll up.
Isn't that like Parks
and Rec? Yeah, just in a different setting. And never got into it either. And then Brooklyn Nine-Nine, 8 seasons, 153 episodes, absolutely awesome. But every single one of these shows jump the shark as soon as they have a kid. As soon as you bring a kid into it.
Yes, they did.
Jumps the shark. Everybody loses their interest because people don't want to watch a show unless it's all built around the children from the beginning. They don't want to watch shows about somebody having a little kid, having a baby. We all love them. Well, not everybody, but that's the end of the show. The moment that somebody gets pregnant and has a kid. But again, unless it is, hey, let's start the show like 2 men and a baby or 3 men and a baby or
Yeah, unless it's like the focal
The
point of the
premise.
show and
Yeah.
probably comedy.
Yeah, nobody's
Because
interested.
it's like that's not what people sign up to watch.
Right. Yeah. Rug pull. Okay, the next article is over in Continuity Report. Mad Max. Will there be another movie sequel after Furiosa and Fury Road? I don't know. Furiosa seems to have fallen on its face, but maybe the long tail will grow. With the recent release of Furiosa, fans of Mad Max franchise are curious if there's going to be another movie. Some are wondering whether it'll be a sequel to Furiosa or a sequel to 2015's Fury Road. I don't think that there's anything after Fury Road. They'd have to create some other construct. Bad guy. The post-apocalyptic action franchise has garnered great acclaim from critics and film fans in general. But I've always thought that the Fury Road element was so absurd because they're driving around big ass trucks in a world where fuel is at a minimum. Everybody is killing everybody else. They're throwing spears and have somebody shooting flames out of a truck that's wired with massive speakers. And that's part of the thing. I mean, it's so over the top, like so campy. I just, ugh. But it was a fun watch, but I
It
think it's
was.
stupid. So the article is over at comingsoon.net. Abdul Azim Nashad is the author. And so will the story of Mad Max's world continue? Are there any other films planned? Here's everything that's currently known. There could be more, according to George Miller. Certainly more stories there, but they're all made up. There's nothing that's actually canon in any way, shape, or form.
Right. I think a lot of it's going to depend on how Furiosa does in streaming.
Yeah, the long tail. I think it's gonna. Um, People are
Exactly.
going to be interested in it when they get to watch it at home. I knew that there were going to be more Mad Max movies. I knew of Mad Max The Wasteland, which is reportedly a prequel set before the events of Fury Road. And I thought that there was another one. Where is it? As per Digital Spy, there is another more mysterious movie that could be eyed for development, which could possibly cover what happens to Furiosa after the events of Fury Road. So, however, neither of these movies have been confirmed as of writing. So, I would love more Mad Max movies, but I don't.
But what would you like them to be like?
Um, I would like them more less about driving through the desert, hurling spears at each other, and basically that, it just seems absurd. I think that I would like it more along the lines of Fallout, where it's more about the characters and less everything blowing up and you're surviving it. Sure, have elements of that, but for the most part, I want to learn more about the world that exists, because nothing. All you know is that they're driving across red sands all freaking day long. Okay. And they never seem to run out of fuel. In Mad
I know,
Max,
it's so amazing.
wait a minute. Did
Are they
the.
using like eco fuel or something?
Yeah, really, it's all green. Green energy. Hold on. Mad Max. Yeah, okay. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. There were 3 of them. It was 79, 81, 85, and then from between 85 and 15 was Mad Max Fury Road. And then 9 years later is Furiosa. So I was like, what? Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is the one that I remember the most because of Tina Turner. But I'm trying to. What I wanted to see was the numbers, like how much money Beyond Thunderdome raked in. Yeah, 52 million. It's so pittance compared to the new numbers. Okay, well, anyway, our last article for today is in the continuity report, and I thought that this was kind of interesting, but I don't know really if people are going to be interested in it. The Beach Boys and director Frank Marshall on the band's Disney Plus doc. So there's a documentary about the Beach Boys. We may not have been the great surfers, but we sang about it really well. If Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial start of summer on most Americans' calendars, then it makes sense that the real tentpole kicking off 10th season, weird, for a lot of people is not Furiosa or Garfield, but The Beach Boys, a streaming documentary devoted to the least wintry group of all time. The article is over at Variety. Chris Willman is the author. And yeah, if you want some, easy peasy music, listen to the Beach Boys. And so I thought I'd tease everybody with a music documentary about the Beach Boys.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a lot of music documentaries in the show. I think it was good that this was included in today's show. Plus, I think it's funny because, I mean, you either think they're just singing about it or you think they're completely into surfing. Like, you don't hear much about this, and maybe we will in the documentary itself.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it. It starts with their unusual pre-Beatles melding of complex four freshman harmonies with surf music and themes, continues on through the groundbreaking work of Pet Sounds era that led to the friendly rivalry with the Beatles, covers that complicated years when musical architect Brian Wilson physically and psychologically retreated, leaving the group to seek out new identities during the counterculture years. And finally, their comeback in the mid-70s with the Endless Summer Best Of created a fresh wave of boys band mania. Oh my gosh. Anyway, seems like it might be interesting, and there is a lot more because it's an actual interview as well as that little tidbit. But I'll let you all go and check this out. Follow the road through ohmTown out to Variety. It's real easy. Just go over.
Have you seen other documentaries from Disney Plus?
No,
I didn't think I had either.
But I don't watch a lot of music documentaries, mainly because I think music is very dynamic. It ebbs and flows in my mind, and so I don't like listening to the same thing over and over again. And so Pandora is where I am. I just let it play. And when I start detecting that it's a cycle, I change genre, I change station, I grab a random artist.
Right.
I talk to people every day, and like in groups of people, and I ask them, what are y'all listening to today? And they'll give me some musician, a band, whatever. I mean, I learned about electro swing because somebody had mentioned it in a discussion. And
that's a cool way to expand your music exposure.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to know everything, and unless you're in this industry, in the music industry, you'll never discover as much as just interacting with a bunch of people and getting a different take. And I listen to everything from death metal to classical music, rap, everything, whatever floats my boat at that particular minute, really. But that's it. We are done. We always go back to the beginning of ohmTown, which is the welcome sign for today's show, Continuity Report. Oh my gosh, is it really? We are running really late, folks. So that's it. I'm Mayor Watt. Up there is the sentient AI. Gonna say bye, and we're gonna get out of here.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for the Continuity Report.
See you in a little bit. Stay tuned for Technology Today. Bye-bye.